Welcome again to Christ Channel Network. Here we wish you the best of love, the best of life, and the very best of everything. Today I'm talking about give me my own title. Somebody said the land, that is simply put, real estate, ownership of real estate is the only thing in the world worth working for, worth fighting for, worth dying for, because it's the only thing that lasts. That statement will make sense to you when you begin to deal with landlords after the age of 50. I want my own title on real estate in the land of the living. Give me my own title. I want you to say to somebody there, before this time next year, I will come to join you for your new house dedication ceremony. Satan had ruled over this dark domain, his own dark domain, before Adam was created. When God created Adam, he gave him rulership on land, on real estate. And when Adam fell, Satan gained something that Adam previously possessed. Adam's dominion and authority is on the land, is on real estate. Adam own and have title to his own property. His certificate of occupancy, his grand deed given to him by God in the Garden of Eden. If Jesus has come to redeem us and has come to make a reconciliation between us and God, then the first signs of a believer victorious life is a title to a land. Anywhere in the world, from villages to countries, from nations to continents, valleys and mountains, there is no spot of a land space without an ownership claim by someone. If you don't believe me, just park your car somewhere for 30 days or go and erect a kiosk somewhere to be selling something and see if someone will not challenge you that lot, that spot you occupy, either belongs to a family or belong to government or belong to somebody or belong to someone. Believe me when I tell you, when a man is dead, there's no free 6 feet by 3 feet space to bury his dead body unless the space is paid for by his own family or he himself has paid for the spot when he was alive. So to get your own title on any piece of land, on any real estate, anywhere on this planet, you have to work for it or pay for it or fight for it or somebody just gave it to you. And there's always someone ready to kill you for a land or waiting for you to die to take it over as his or her own inheritance immediately you are buried inside the land. All spaces of land on this planet are already taken. There's no spot not yet claimed. From generations to generations, people kiss and die among family members, among nations of the world because of land. And it is the only reason why wars and battles between nations are fought. Bible stories are all about possessions and dispossession of lands. From the day of Adam, the day Adam was evicted from the Garden of Eden, to the time Jesus himself was buried in a borrowed tomb of a rich man, a man's life and death require him to possess a spot of land. In actual fact, when you move out right now, from where you are sitting or standing, listening to me right now, whether by walking or driving, the land under your feet is titled to someone, or else it belongs to the government. God made you out of it. When you died, you go back to it. If you come to this world and live on this planet for 120 years, and you died, and you are buried in the ground from where you were taken from, and you have no title on any spot of this land behind your name, to an African culture, you are seen as a poor man. And in American culture, you have not achieved American dream. Coming to America and having a paid off loan on your home. That is, home ownership is the American dream. Home ownership is the beginning of wealth in African culture, because the biblical purpose of Adam's creation was to rule on real estate. You need a title to a spot of land, your own name written on it. I pray to you, and I pray for you today, Father Lord, give me my own real estate title. Satan did not say that Adam had handed over to him the kingdom of darkness. Adam couldn't have handed it over to Satan, because Adam was not given authority to rule over the kingdom of darkness when he was in the Garden of Eden. God did not create Adam to rule the kingdom of darkness and have dominion on spiritual wickedness in high places. He created man to rule real estate. Then God said, I take you to the Bible now. Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. Verse 28 of that scripture says, God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, feed the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Adam's purpose was physical management of natural resources and habitat, not spiritual management of the spiritual world. Satan did not get the authority to rule in the kingdom of darkness from Adam. Satan was ruling over fallen angels before Adam was created. Adam was created to rule over real estate, not to be on this planet preoccupied with spiritual powers over forces of darkness and not able to pay his rent. When Jesus came to earth, Satan was offering Jesus rule over the kingdom of darkness, which consisted of all evil spirits. So there's absolutely no way that Adam could have handed that jurisdiction over to Satan. Satan was ruling over that kingdom since the day he was expelled from heaven, which was prior to Adam's fall. Up until Adam's fall, the kingdom of darkness consisted only of angelic rebels. But when Adam sinned, he joined the kingdom of rebellion and handed over the authority and dominion given to him on this planet Earth, on the land, on real estate. He handed it over to the realm of Satan. So what is going on in the spiritual realms till today? The spiritual game has been going on like that before God said, let us make man in our own image. So Adam was not created to rule it. He was created to rule this world. Satan's dominion and authority was over the kingdom of darkness. He was known as the prince of the air. He ruled over principalities and power, rulers, princes, and princesses and queens of the high places. He was doing his own thing, but he came down here and deceived a man over his own real estate and tricked Adam of his grant deed of this planet real estate. But note a fact, Satan never owned the earth or the land. Adam did not give land to Satan because God did not give the land to Adam. He only gave Adam grant deed or certificate of occupancy, authority to rule and have dominion on this land. If truly Jesus has redeemed you, then I ask you today, where's your own grant deed? Where's your own certificate of occupancy? Where's your own title on a spot of a land in the land of the living? Where's your own certificate of occupancy You need that instead of rent receipt from your landlord. The book of Psalm 24 says, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. For he founded it on the seas and established it on the waters. The earth belongs to the Lord. The earth, the soil, belongs to God. The origin name for the land, that is for the soil, for the earth, for the real estate, is called Adam. The man was named Adam because he was formed from Adam. When he fell, he was destined to go back to Adam, where he was taken from. He cannot give or hand over what was not given to him to Satan. What was given to Adam by God is a grant deed or certificate of occupancy, a dominion to rule over it. So a man cannot get a title to a land from another man or from another woman unless it was given to him by God who owned the land. And since you cannot give what you don't have, Satan cannot give you a land. Only God owns the land, and he has the power to give it to whosoever he will. I want my own land title. I want my own grant deed. The time grant means to award somebody something. In other countries, you can call it certificate of occupancy. In another country, they call it grant deed. It never says it belongs to you, but granted to you. Certificate to occupy it, because it was never owned by Adam. It was never owned by the devil. It was never owned by any government. It was granted to Adam. Father, Lord, before this year is over, give me my own grant deed in this nation. Father, Lord, give me my own grant deed. The book of Genesis says, God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number. Feed the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. When Satan sinned in heaven, he was thrown out of heaven and fell on Adam. According to the geological science, this earth that we're walking on now is about 4.5 billion years. Satan fell on it when he was thrown down with his angels from heaven. Adam was created from the soil of it just about 6,000 years ago, according to the biblical story. And Adam was given authority and dominion to create a management system to rule over it. But he gave the management system to Satan, that is the political system, the educational system, the economic system, the religious system, the marriage system. All systems put together by God, given to Adam, was given to Satan. So, but he cannot give what he does not have. God gave him system, not the land. So he was made of the land. So he doesn't own it. The land owns him. Satan only got system from Adam, but not the soil. The soil belongs to God. He made Adam from it. It does not belong to Adam. It doesn't belong to Satan. The soil does not belong to government. It does not belong to your landlord. It does not belong to the seller. It does not belong to the buyer. It is permanently the possession of God. One more truth, let me tell you. It does not belong to the witches and wizards. It does not belong to your family. It does not belong to your father. It does not belong to your mother. The land does not belong to your uncle. It belongs to God. Now, who can give it to you? Why have you not got it? From whom can you get it? Who has got it from you that says he is not going to return it to you? Who is preventing you from getting it? If you don't get it, let me tell you, if you're hearing me from America, if you don't get it after 20 years in America and 60 years living on this planet, anywhere in the world, who prevented you from getting your whole portion in the land of the living? You did not get it because you do not know that nobody owns it. but only God. And that you are made out of it, and at the end of your days on the land of the living, you're going back to it because you are taken out of it. Therefore, to have your own title on a portion of it, you need to be in control of the system that controls it, because it was the system Adam handed over to Satan, not the soil, not the land. Whosoever controls the system, we have more of it. So you have to get into the system. You have to get into the game of the system. If you have played it in the past and they play you out, I'm telling you this morning, get back into the game. The game of real estate possession is different from countries to country. In some part of Africa, you buy a land and you build it little by little with your building materials, and when you completed it, you have a freehold title, 100% fully paid for asset. You can have 10 buildings like that in Africa, but come live in America for 20 years, you may not be able to get one, because American system is set up to make you accept to be a debtor and be good in debt management in order to be a qualified borrower, to borrow or live as a homeowner for the rest of your life, or else you just become tenants. Who doesn't know how to manage his own money? This has nothing to do with Satan, but working the system is what gives you possession of real estate. It is a system set up by man to manage this planet. You may get real estate property in Africa by paying your tithes and offering, but when you come to America, you only get it by paying your taxes and loans on time. If you do not like to pay high taxes on your declared income, then your adjusted gross income will always determine the amount of loan that you are qualified to borrow for real estate. So you may work in America for 20, 30, or 50 years, have mansion in Africa, but own no home in America, just because you hate paying higher taxes to Internal Revenue Service. If you are in America for 10, 20, 30 years and have no title on your name to real estate, it is simply because you choose not to work the American system of debt management, tax system, period. For instance, you have $100,000 in a year. That's your income, $100,000 in a year. But you reduce your tax liability to $0 because of deductions and expenses. That one automatically can reduce your adjusted gross income to only $10,000. Then who is going to borrow you $500,000 to buy a house if you claim in your taxes that your annual income is only $10,000? And the reason you are doing that is because you don't want to pay tax. And when you don't want to pay tax and you are reducing your income, then you are not qualified for higher loan. You can have mansion in Africa, but you are renting in America. Adam handed over to Satan's system. It is the system that the government and the people of the world are set up to manage home ownership. So you work the American immigration system, you work at the American employment, job, career, professional system, but you rejected working the American real estate and tax system. What God gave to Adam was the system to run this planet. And what Adam gave to Satan was the system to run this planet. And why and how you get real estate ownership is working the system, not just playing the spiritual forces in high places. You have to know how the system works and you work the system. Therefore, I say to you, as you work the system this year, your title on a new home in America, anywhere in the world, will be released to you in the name of Jesus. Thank you once again for coming to our show. We wish you the best of luck, the best of life.